Alright guys, hope everyone's well and welcome back to the channel. So today I am 2 days out from the first show of the season and it is time to carb up. So I've got a lot of food going in today, especially considering what my food was like on prep. So safe to say I am absolutely loving life. I've got a lot of rice going in. So my first meal of the day is 150 grams of 5% mince, 150 grams of rice and 150 grams of mushrooms. So just added 150 grams of rice to my baseline diet. So I'm going to eat this and then I've got a haircut. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet and I'll catch up with you later. But yeah, I'm going to eat this now. And plan of action today is personal training. I've got a few sessions right after my haircut. And then I will be having my pre-workout meal, which I'll catch up with you then. And then it is time to train pool. So we are back in the house with a fresh trim for meal number 2, which is my pre-workout meal. Usually I'll train first thing, but with my training getting kind of moved around a bit with having the shows, I'm training a bit later today as it's usually a rest day and I had personal training clients first thing, as I touched on. So meal number 2, which is my pre-workout meal, is 100 grams of rice and 120 grams of chicken, 100 grams of green beans, 100 grams of pineapple, and also 25 grams dark chocolate. The dark chocolate's there alongside this meal to slow down the digestion of the carbohydrates, so I've got a sustained release of energy throughout my session. Benefit of dark chocolate, it's got a whole host of benefits behind it in terms of helping you get a better pump in the gym, cardiovascular disease risk. It has also got caffeine in it as well, and so yeah, can help in terms of, like I said, nitric oxide production or get a better pump. So plenty of benefits alongside it. If you're trying to get a good dark chocolate that's going to actually have benefits like behind it, make sure you get one that's like ideally 85%, and you'll need, I believe it's around about 40 grams worth to kind of get a benefit from it. So just make sure you have like a sufficient dosage of it, because if you buy like the really cheap one, the quality is probably not that high. So I'm going to have my pre-workout meal and then train push. I did say pool earlier, but it's actually push day. Got confused. Pool will be tomorrow. So my training this week, I'm not hitting legs before the show, just because you don't want inflammation in the legs because it hides the detail. So my training this week's push pull, rest, then push, then pull, instead of push pull legs, rest, push, and back and hamstrings. So hopefully you can hear me okay. So in today's session, I'm still training at normal volume, so I'm not like deloading and going into the show. And the reason being is I've got 3 shows 3 weeks back to back. So if I like back off all 3 shows, don't train like at full intensity or close to full intensity, then I could potentially risk muscle loss. Although my food's up, I'm still quite lean, so my ability to retain muscle is going to be poorer. So that's why we're still kind of keeping the effort level relatively high and sessions relatively standard, with a few small adjustments here and there, not taking any force reps or 50-50 reps.
Now we see your audition in the
So we have finished training push, really good session. Training's definitely a good bit more enjoyable now. I've got a bit more food in me. Just again, when you feel pretty trashed all the time, training's not the best in terms of performance. Although it's held up very well throughout the sprint, but also just energy levels as well. So post-workout meal is 95 grams of ground rice, which is basically, just think about rice ground up. It's like the same consistency as like ground oats or oats, for example. 40 grams of whey, bourbon biscuit flavoured, and I basically make this in the morning and then let it set in the fridge and then put it in the freezer half an hour before eating it. I think I prefer it, oh no I don't think, I prefer it cold. It's a bit more satiating and just enjoyable. I've got 100 grams of blueberries and also 4 rice cakes to go with it. And I'm going to eat this, and then I will be doing a bit of work and shaving and then packing for my show. But I've got another personal training session later on as well. So yeah, busy day. It's quite chaotic. Like when you do need to take days off personal training, the sessions have to go somewhere. So it means like I'm not only busy the whole weekend, but I'm even busier throughout the week from having to kind of move those sessions. So chaotic, but I can't complain. There's worse problems than being busy. What?
Can you get cut with this?
Watch what I'm doing, right? Very flat on it. Don't angle it. Right?
How's
What's going on
Stephanie?
Instagram?
Efficiency. So it's now 6 o'clock and we've got meal number 4, which is another 150 grams of rice, 100 grams green beans, 120 grams chicken and hot sauce on top. And the reason why I'm having more carbohydrates going into my shows is because when we basically diet down, we deplete ourselves of glycogen, which is how we store carbohydrates. When we deplete ourselves of glycogen, we look kind of flat and our muscles don't look as big, kind of like a deflated balloon. So to then fill yourself up, make yourself look visually fuller and bigger, you then eat carbohydrates and then you look bigger. And the goal is to basically find that sweet spot where you look full, your muscles kind of have that pop about them, they're not deflated, but not to the point where you have so much carbohydrates that you start holding water outside kind of the muscle cell, if that makes sense. Or in other words, spilling over. So finding the sweet spot, the look, the body weight that you look best at, which is why I'm checking in with my coach on a daily basis and measuring body weight regularly as we do so we can find the visual look that we think will bring the best package on stage, which is the best package in terms of condition, so how lean I look, as well as how big my muscles look. So time to have my last meal and some downtime. Last meal today is 85 grams of oats, 40 grams of whey protein. I've got custard slice flavoured protein and also 10 grams of almond butter and also 100 grams of blueberries. No changes made to this meal. It's staying pretty static or the same. It's good to not really increase when I'm carbing up carbs through fibrous sources like oats, because they tend to digest quite slow and pull water into the stomach, which is arguably not what you want from a digestion standpoint when you're pushing food up. It's good to kind of keep fibre static and add it through low fibrous foods like rice, for example. So I'm going to eat this, got the recovery boots on as shown, and listen to a bit of a podcast and relax.